Well, welcome to a chilly Macedonia Park here. It's the Wolves against NWS Spirit. Both teams fighting for places at the top of the table. For Spirit, they're chasing down a title, while the Wolves, they're still trying to pick up that finals place.
Yeah. We do another mic check real quick, just sometimes things like that can fuck with the audio. Should be.
Well, welcome to Macedonia Park. It's a bit chilly. We've had a lot of rain down here. It's good to see that the game...
It's good.
Well, good evening and welcome to Macedonia Park. It's round 27 of the NPL Men's New South Wales, with finals chasing Wollongong Wolves welcoming league leaders Northwest Sydney Spirit. The Wolves experienced their first taste of defeat under coach Julio Miranda last weekend, while Spirit, they missed out on playing all together. My name is Tim Gibson. Let's have a look at the teams. And starting with the home side, Daniel Solsky is the goalkeeper. 2, Harrison Bunel. 4, Dylan Ryan. 5, Banri Kanaizumi. 11, Sebastian Hernandez. 17 is Marcus Beattie. Number 21, Nicholas Olsen. 23, Flynn Madden. Number 24, Lachlan Scott. 25, Alex Mashivecchio. And number 29, Ben Geisen. Over to Spirit now. And Christopher Marquez is the goalkeeper. 4, Brady Smith. Number 7 is Frankie Lucevic. 8, Grant Cornwell. 9, Yu Akubo. 10, Michael Konostabo. 13, Simon Nicholas. 15, Jamie Pasevsky. 18, Andre Takami. 19, Zane Alawalia. And number 22 is Takumi Afuka. Some early complaints here as to the ball and whether it's sufficiently pumped up enough to play with. Of course, the venue itself, it was, well, perhaps somewhat of a surprise that it was on. Of course, the under-20s game was played on Field 2 here at Macedonia Park, and with the weather that has been hitting the fields down here in the Illawarra. And that's kickoff. Plenty to play for here for both teams with similar aspirations. Sebastian Hernandez with an early run down the right-hand side. And it's a slip there and a chance for Nicholas Olsen to steal in. Worth noting at this stage, Hernandez getting his first start since what I think was the first round of this season. Sustained a serious foot injury after that Apia match and has been over the last few weeks building minutes and has finally been returned into the starting 11 for the home side. Referee today is Hayden Mickelmeyer, who's been a referee locally down here for several years and will get a centre at first grade level this evening. The Wolves there, well, playing in their usual red and Spirit in their usual black and yellow. Well, it's very tight between these two teams. At least that's what the matches over the last few years have shown. Of course, the most noticeable one was back in round 9 of 2023. The Wolves were comfortable leaders in that game heading into the final stages before a miraculous turnaround from Spirit. They ended up winning the game 5-4. Outside of that, the scoring hasn't been as exciting. There was a 2-1 in round 24 of 2023, and then in 2024, a 1-0 win for Spirit in round 14 before a 0-0 draw in round 29. Earlier this season, a narrow win for Spirit, 1-0. Very much the contrast to that first encounter between these teams in 2023. Here's a free kick for Olsen to clip in, and it's a header from Bunel. He did score a couple of weeks ago. He's back in the team following serving his suspension. He was sent off against Sydney FC late on for denying an obvious goal-scoring opportunity, so didn't play against Mount Druitt Town. Dax Kelly came in. It was a similar scenario a few weeks earlier when Baneri Kanaizumi was suspended after an accumulation of yellow cards, where Dax Kelly came in. Back on the bench is the centre-back Kelly. Now, here's a chance for Spirit if they can win the ball here. The Wolves have managed to play out nicely through Flynn Madden. Here's Olsen again. Looks for a lovely ball down the line for Masciavecchio, but that's sharp defending from Alawalia. And they can keep going here, Spirit. Ball played in behind for Yu Akubo, who is likely to be offside, but regardless, it'll be a goal kick. An early slip there for Christopher Marquez, the Spirit goalkeeper, which is likely symptomatic of the condition of the field given the extensive rain. Still several local games washed out. Olsen dropping deep to perhaps pick up the ball there, but Solski chooses to play it long instead. An interesting tactic, that one. Looks as if it will be a fluid front four from the Wolves. Now, as for Spirit, their form recently couldn't get much better, but here's Sebastian Hernandez down the left-hand side. A chance to pull it across, but that is a sharp intervention from Brady Smith there. Demonstration of the pace that Hernandez can offer down that side. A couple of chances he's had, Hernandez has been really direct with the ball, which is something that will be an asset to the Wolves in these final few rounds as they chase that last finals place. Madden's delivery loops. Scott tries to flick it on, is unable to. Somehow holds it up, and he's still got it here. Lachlan Scott. Well, that would have been some goal if he pulled it off. Again, I think it was Brady Smith with another intervention. Brady Smith, he last played in round 22 against Manly, so he's missed a few games recently, but back in the starting 11 for this evening's match, of which is very important for Spirit. And of course had their game against St George washed out over the weekend. That'll be replayed on Tuesday. But what it does mean is that at the top of the table, they have a game in hand. Coming into the round, they were already 3 clear. So there's opportunity to extend their lead, and of course they'll still have a game in hand after this round finishes. So they'll be hoping for some favourable results elsewhere. Harpier play on Sunday against the Sutherland Sharks. Currently in second. Marconi also in action. They're at home to Manly United. Rockdale, they're a few points behind now, and in fact it looks like maybe perhaps just a mathematical chance. They've got Sydney Olympic away. So tricky fixtures for those teams, which means 3 points here would go a long way to Harpier's, well, Spirit's pursuit of the title. Bit of settled possession here for the visitors. Nice work from Lucevic down this side, and we'll find Nicholas. Here's Lucevic again. He gets a ball in towards that back post. It will find a target, but Mascivecchio can play it forwards now. Scott, nice flick. Here comes Olsen through the middle. A little trip, but he'll carry on here and will be brought back. Well, there were a couple of nibbles in there from Spirit players, but will be a free kick. There's a ball in behind, but Mascivecchio is offside. Returning to Spirit, they've been flying in terms of their form. As mentioned, they are currently the league leaders and they've won all of their last 5 games. Some interesting scorelines in there as well. A 2-1 win over Manly and a 3-1 win over Sutherland. Was followed up by a dramatic 6-3 win over Rockdale. We see a ball chipped in for Afuka. As Afuka gets a touch of the ball, I will mention that he is one of 2 players, at least in recent times, that were with the Wolves. A great source of goals was Takumi Afuka. Under David Carney, he was a former Tarrawanna Blues player from the local Illawarra Premier League, who are enjoying their best season in a while in their hunt for finals. And there's a ball in for Yu Akubo, who's picked that up and can keep going, but Ben Geisen wins possession back. Fukari scored 10 goals in 2023 with the Wolves, and then in 2024 he picked up 12 goals. Now here's a ball in behind that Mascivecchio won't get to. Marquez, it's a completed pass, but it was a nervy one. And that's a good touch from Yu Akubo, who's offside. He's also in great form at the moment, Afuka, 5 in his last 5. Now the other player who's returning to face the Wolves is Andre Takami, who's starting in midfield for Spirit. Nice work, Madden. Good touch. Finds Scott. Scott for Hernandez. Hernandez clips it in towards that back post. It's headed away, but not far enough. Nicholas Olsen sends that one flying over the bar. Andre Takami played just about everywhere for the Wolves. He featured at both left back and right back, and also in midfield. Another player who came through the local competition here, a Bampton Cup winner with Wollongong Olympic. There's a ball over the top. Afuka will chase, but it's the Wolves' ball here as they look to build up. Hasn't been the most high intensity start to this game. Neither side creating anything of substance in these opening 12 or so minutes. Geisen down the line for Hernandez, who can't hold on to that. Brady Smith unable to hold on to the ball. Here's Hernandez. Goes back for Geisen. That's out of play though. Here's Bunel, who clears that up the line for Scott Olsen. Hernandez is running against Smith. Giving plenty to think about here is the winger against Smith, who's called into action on a couple of occasions. Bit of a wind that we are starting to get here at Macedonia Park, and that was a poor ball from Bunel. Connor Starbo couldn't get a touch on it. Here's Dylan Ryan, goes for a switch of play, and well, some lightning in the distance there. Olsen plays it down the line for Scott. That was a big strike of lightning off in the distance there. No sign of any rain on the forecast though. Spirit starting to pick up some more possession. Smith over the top for Afuka. Very much see that Afuka is going to be making those runs in behind. Bunel plays it in towards Scott. Scott can't bring it down. Goes for a trip. And it'll be brought back for the free kick. It's nice work from Spirit and space in front here. Great ball down the line. Alawalia can maybe swing in a delivery, blocked by Ryan. And it'll be a corner. Ball in. Solski punches away at his near post. Back in again. Olsen clears it. Lawalia is able to keep it going. Now here's Brady Smith, who's found himself wide there and is fouled. Another opportunity for Spirit to get a ball into the box. Ball's played in flat and it's missed everyone. Pasevsky has sent that one wide. A good chance, of course, would have come at it quicker. The ball came at him quicker than he would have expected. Although from that position he would have been hoping to get it on target. Probably the best chance of the game we've seen so far. Wolves opting to go long on these goal kicks and not try to break through the press of Spirit. Here's Scott. Can't hold on to it. Olsen does though. Nicholas Olsen can find the walk. Ball wide for Ben Geisen. Good ball in from Geisen. Out for Mascivecchio. Sent wide here. Mascivecchio has some work to do. And they've managed to play out there very well, Spirit. Here's Takami. Aims it towards Okubo. Can Izumi's challenge. And we'll play on there. Hernandez. And with Nicholas, and it'll be a foul. Starting to get a bit more competitive this game. The Wolves very much matching it with the league leaders. Ball in from Olsen. Takami back to Marquez. Chooses to play out. Not a great ball for Alawalia, who's immediately under pressure from Ryan and gives it up to the fullback. Here's Dylan Ryan. Ball in. Cleared away. And Hernandez still with a foot in. It's a bit chaotic in there and eventually cleared away. Here's Olsen. Olsen still with the ball. Goes for a cross, but a bit too much on that. Marquez will catch that. Nice pass from Pasevsky to Takami, and they have some possession here, Spirit. Now for the Wolves, they had that disappointing defeat against Mount Druitt, which ended a fantastic run of form under Julio Miranda, the coach. They were unbeaten before that. It's the Mount Druitt Town Rangers picked up a 3-1 win at home, which was big in their battle at the bottom of the table, and meant the Wolves, after they worked so hard to get in the top 6, fell out of it the next week. Now here's a chance for Lachlan Scott to whip in a ball for Hernandez. Marquez gets a touch on it. Here comes Nicholas down the left side. One's Lucevic. Now here's Pasevsky. Of course, for the Wolves, that run of form they were on. Most recently, they had 3 wins in a row. Manly United, Sutherland Sharks. And then they beat Sydney FC 1-0 at Wynn Stadium. Here's Hernandez wide. Before that defeat to Mount Druitt Town, which came as a surprise. Geisen. Here's Beatty. Beatty from Madden. Brady Smith clears that away. Uakubo's in a race with Bunel. But the centre-back wins out in that one. Uakubo, 4 goals in his last 4 games, and he's got 17 this year. Been the major source of goals, or one of the major sources of goals up front for Spirit. Here's Takami. Goes for that switch of play to Alawalia, who can try and find Conestavo. course, Michael Conosabo, 14 goals this season, so he's been good as well. Ball for Lachlan Scott here. That's a lovely reverse pass for Olsen. Olsen running at this Spirit back line. Finds Hernandez. And will it trickle over for the Wolves? It will. Alex Mashivecchio on hand. And hits the backflips as well. That's an excellent record here at Macedonia Park. Mashivecchio. That one was a simple finish. But midway through the half, the hosts are in front. Well, you wouldn't have expected that here. The Wolves have taken the lead against the league leaders of the NPL Men's New South Wales. And they've perhaps been good value for it as well. Haven't seen many opportunities from Spirit, and at times their defensive work has been a little rushed. That was another example where Hernandez's initial shot, plenty of power behind it, was just spun up into the middle of the box where it was Olsen and Mashivecchio. And well, that was a nutmeg, I think, from Flynn Madden, who then copped a hit for his troubles. And continue to play on. Here's a ball wide for Ryan. Ryan for goal scorer Mashivecchio, but that's taken an unwelcome bounce. 8 goals this season for Mashivecchio, 4 at Macedonia Park, which is averaging out as almost, well, just about 1 a game. And he is at Macedonia Park. It's become a good venue for him. Beatty. Brady Smith wide. Here's Nicholas. Bit of space and chance to cross in. Well, there were 2 at the far post and a necessary touch from Ken Izumi to put that behind for a corner. Vucevic coming across to take this one, and they'll want to make an instant response here. Spirit. Vucevic's ball is loopy, but Pasevsky got his head to it. Mashivecchio heads it away further. Here's Alawalia. And that ball for Uakubo is a little overhit. Taking their time here, the Wolves of course have the lead as we get close to that half-hour mark. Solski's goal kick is high towards Olsen. Madden gets a touch. Now here's Scott, a switch of play, and Mashivecchio can carry on. Big challenge from Geisen that he wins against Afuka, but he's given it away there. Takami is felled by Madden, and that's a useful free kick from a Wolves perspective, given there's a potential breakaway on. Just another example of how well this Spirit team can press. Here's Takami. Swings that free kick in. It's a nice one towards the back post. It's flicked on for Akubo. And that's an outstanding save from Daniel Solsky to tip that around the post. It was Grant Cornwall, or maybe Pasevsky, who initially got that header into Akubo's path. It's a fantastic save from Solsky, who's certainly in excellent form at the moment. Ball's floaty again, and that'll be... Well, the flag was up, but it went down immediately. There's ball from Afuka. It's overhit. Marcus Beattie, who's another one that's stood out for the Wolves in particularly the second half of the season. Normally a winger or a fullback, but has found himself playing in midfield and has been a regular feature there. Started the year with Woon Sub Simon and Agnostopoulos in there, and it's slowly changed. But here's Geisen. Geisen can keep going. Plays at Mashavecchio. Good touch. Hernandez. Onside here, Hernandez, and gets a cross in for Scott. Glances wide of the left post. Madden, who's been playing higher up recently, has dropped into that midfield alongside Beattie. Still yet to really get going here, the visitors. There's another turn away, Mashavecchio. A lot of slipping out there, particularly from Spirit. There's Ryan for Madden. Mashavecchio plays that over the top. Pasevsky's going to have to deal with it, and does. Nicholas, lovely throw from Marquez. 10 clean sheets for the goalkeeper this season. He won't add to that this evening. Here's Geisen. Hernandez goes for a first-time ball. That's given away. Akubo. Good touch from Takami. There's a ball wide for Afuka, who will be flagged offside. Harrison Bunel coming across to deal with it regardless. Geisen. Nice pass inside for Beattie. That's wide for, well, I think it was Dylan Ryan, but it'll skim its way to Mashavecchio, whose goal is the difference at the moment. A little over 10 regular first half minutes to play. Ryan for Olsen. Scott gets a touch in there, and Olsen can carry on. Nice chop inside. And that pass, well, some more slips and some more errant touches. Here comes Geisen. Geisen was looking for that pass. Kanaizumi. Ryan's ball for Olsen. Alawalia. Takami. Seen plenty of the ball in that midfield, Andre Takami, and flips one towards Akubo. And that'll be a foul. Connor Starbo tackled. Another set piece. The last one came close for Spirit. That was Yu Akubo's effort that was prompted an excellent save from Daniel Solski. Milovic's delivery this time goes short for Afuka. Afuka changes the angle, but Solski claims that one relatively comfortably. Geisen for Scott. Hernandez. Nicholas gets a touch to it, but Hernandez will carry on. Good tackle from Takami. Probably been Spirit's best player so far. Well, I think that was the call from David Perkovic, the Spirit coach, to stop playing so direct. I've seen a few balls lobbed up there. Of course, the pitch is perhaps not the most conducive to keeping it on the deck. The Wolves will be more used to that bounce, though. Geisen finds Hernandez once more. Hernandez finds Madden. Geisen still has it and can carry on. He is kicked. That'll be a free kick. Nice play from the Wolves. Very much been able to play when they get up the field, the Wolves. It'll be an Olsen delivery in. Olsen goes short for Madden. The two short free kicks we've seen in the last couple of minutes, neither has worked out. Madden, and that's a dodgy bounce the way of Sebastian Hernandez. Hernandez bearing down on goal. There's a collision in the box. Mashivecchio has stayed down, and he is clutching his head, and will be brought back now. We heard the thud there. Mashivecchio still down. Looks as if it was just a collision between Lachlan Scott and Alex Mashivecchio. Bit of a team huddle going on here for the visitors, looking to try and get a degree of control back in the game. Their league position would suggest is warranted, or rather expected. Immediately, great ball for Nicholas. Chance already. Then Geisen gets back in. Good burst of speed from the fullback to recover. That'll be a Spirit throw-in. Kanaizumi clears away. Olsen carrying on. Olsen looks to clip it. Past Pasevsky, and it's a handball and will be a yellow card the way of the centre back. Olsen with a driving free kick straight into the wall. Plays that ball for Mascivecchio. Lovely pick out. Another slip from Spirit. Mascivecchio's cross lacks the power to trouble any of the players defending for Spirit. It's cleared away. Ryan for Beatty. Beatty finds Geisen. Geisen wide. Here's Sebastian Hernandez. Madden for Beatty, and it's almost a ball for Hernandez. Geisen wide. Good ball for Hernandez, who's offside. Brady Smith will receive the free kick and they'll play it across the back. Here's Nicholas Ilicevic. It's off the referee. About 5 regular first half minutes to go. The Wolves still leading 1-0. Alex Mascivecchio's goal midway through the half. In what's been a good half so far for the Wolves. And really limited the opportunities that Spirit have had. Of course, that Akubo effort that needed to be tipped around by Solski. Here's a chance, though, for Takami to roll it in. Out wide, here's Alawalia, who's got lots of space. Drives it into Dylan Ryan. Good spell, this, for Spirit. If they can make the most of this set piece, it'll be a real boost heading into the break. Ilicevic finds Madden. Madden for Hernandez. It'll be a foot race with Marquez. The goalkeeper wins it and sends that into the trees. Ryan, big switch of play. It's Geisen who's won that. Well worth the endeavour for the fullback, especially with the throw in high up the field. Geisen Scott for Beatty. Beatty finds Kanaizumi, and the Wolves can look to build something here through Olsen. Right, good pass for Scott. Flicks around the corner. It's a miss clear. Play on Cornwall for Afuka. Nice turn, and he'll win the free kick. play on through Brady Smith, and still looking for options forwards here, Spirit. They have had to go long on a number of occasions. Nicholas has come short for this one. Down the line for Afuka. Nicholas continuing his run inside. Afuka for Lusovic. Options for a cross. It's whipped in towards the back post. Ryan's header is into Mascivecchio's path, and he can keep going here. Mascivecchio past Cornwall. Defender gets in and makes a good intervention, but it'll be a free kick. One regular minute to play. Wolves holding that lead. Here's Olsen. Olsen's delivery is good. Kanaizumi couldn't head it. Nicholas will clear that down the line. Geisen. Beatty, direct ball into Scott, and it's a bit of a wrestling match with Grant Cornwall there. Two minutes of additional time to be played. Takami, wide for Alawalia. Lusovic try to spin, and it'll be that original free kick on the touchline. Connor Starbo, it's the second time he's been complaining to the referee following what seemed to be a straightforward free kick. Takami floats that delivery in. Solski catches. Geisen balling behind for Hernandez. It'll be Marquez's ball with some good communication back there for Spirit. Geisen for Hernandez. Nice touch from Hernandez. He'll get in a foot race with Smith. Throw in. Not too much left of this one now. Be a real boost for Wollongong if they could snatch a second goal on the cusp of half time. Geisen for Lachlan Scott. Somehow keeps hold of that. Hernandez for Scott. Smith will cut that out. Well, it's half time here at Macedonia Park. 1-0 to the Wolves. Alex Mascivecchio's goal midway through the half is the difference at half time. We'll be back in a little over 10 minutes time for the second half. Well, welcome back for the second half here at Macedonia Park. 1-0 to the Wolves. It was Alex Mascivecchio's goal midway through the half that gave the Wolves the lead over the current league leaders in NWS Spirit. Early free kick the way of Spirit. Not any personnel changes that I can see at this stage for either team. Looks as if the two starting 11s that started the game are, well, the 11s that are out there now. Ball. That's a good ball for Takami to play wide. Alawalia. Conestobo's further up. Ball into Conestabo. Neat flick. But Mascivecchio's there to clear it away. Alawalia. Nice feet from Alawalia. Olsen wide for Hernandez. Good chance for Hernandez to take on Nicholson. Does get the cross in, cleared away. There is Lucevic. In for Takami. Alawalia. Takami, nice turn. Very much one of the main creators and playmakers, and he's won that there. Andre Takami, that ball for Uekubo, unable to find its way through. Here's Mascivecchio. Nice feet from Mascivecchio to go around Conestabo. Scott, Mascivecchio given away. Takami's turn to run. A couple of runners as well. That ball's for Afuka. One-on-one. Takumi Afuka rolls it into the corner. And it's 1-1. Well, against his former side, he's made a crucial contribution for the visitors. They're back on level terms. Just 5 minutes in to the second half. Just about the perfect start to the second half for Spirits. It was a simple ball in behind. In the end, some good running from Afuka and A finish that he produced many times for Wollongong. He does so against them this evening. Madden, Olsen combining that pass, a little overhit. Bit of a collision, but they'll play on. Connor Starbo. Pasevsky. Wide for Afuka. One-on-one with Geisen. Afuka tries to go around Geisen, but stands strong. There's that ball down the line for Scott. He's against Cornwall, and it's a big challenge there that he wins. It'll be a throw-in. Well, he's rather displeased with that. Grant Cornwall, that challenge with Lachlan Scott. Madden. Olsen, nice turn and a ball in behind for Hernandez, but that's a little under hit. Here's Geisen. Now, I was speaking with the referee a little earlier, Hayden Mickelmeyer, and, well, it is in fact his first NPL men's at New South Wales Centre. And, well, that's a nice move from Afuka. Will come to the corner. But it is the referee's first game in the middle at this level. Came on into the centre a little later on in a recent game. But this is his official first match in the centre of a New South Wales first grade NPL game. Good opportunity this for Spirit to hit a quick fire double to turn it around Lusevic's corner. Swung in, Solsky gets something on it and it'll be a foul. Solsky for Ryan. Ryan, that's a heavy touch. Connor Starbo's picked it up. Marcus Beattie with a good tackle. And Solsky smothers that one. Geisen will take it the other way. Geisen for Hernandez. And it'll be a goal kick. That's a nice ball, a chance for Spirit. Cleared away by Kanaizumi. Bit of pressure here though for Spirit, and it'll be another corner. Ball is a looping one towards the far post. Let's play on. Big challenge from Lachlan Scott, and Marcus Beattie can come away with it. It'll be a free kick. Well, Spirit's equaliser, of course. Just the 4 defeats this season. It's the least in the competition this year. And, well, Prosevsky just tries to collide with Solsky and ends up coming off second best. $18 goals in their last 5 games as well. They are prolific scorers, particularly at the moment. All 3 of their forwards are in fantastic form, as I mentioned earlier. That ball will come out the way of Dylan Ryan. Ball in for Lachlan Scott, and, well, that's just been taken away from his feet. Ball in towards the far post. Kanaizumi will head it back across. Marquez gets hands on it. Solsky. Well, some neat footwork to get out of that. Down the line, Geisen for Hernandez. Hernandez is just being dragged down, and Nicholas will see a foul given against him. Ryan. That's a ball for Olsen to get onto. It's behind Madden. Akubo picks it up. Alawalia with some space. There's Afuka. He leaves it for Takami. It almost worked out. Takami. That ball will go to Solsky. Additionally, for Spirit, the 59 goals in the competition this year, which is the third best record. Make that 60 now with that equaliser from Afuka. Good pass from Scott, though, wide for Geisen. Geisen for Hernandez, who's been less prominent in this half and is dispossessed. Nicholas coming the other way, or rather it's Smith who won that challenge. As far as options on the bench go for these teams, BT under a bit of pressure there. He will clear it away. The Wolves have Liam Ball and Raphael Leai as attacking options. That ball in for Solski, gets his hands on it. Throws it out the way of Ryan. Plenty of space for Dylan Ryan. That's an excellent ball for Mascivecchio. It'll be a corner. Dylan Ryan was just able to race forwards under very limited pressure before that ball for Mascivecchio. Here's that man again, Mascivecchio wide for Olsen. Ball in. It's a good one. Kanaizumi gets his head to it. It's still not cleared for Spirit. Dyson with a shot that sails harmlessly over the bar. Pace of the game has taken a step back in this second half. After that early Spirit goal, there hasn't really been a great deal of action. Mascivecchio for Ryan. Kanaizumi's header is out. Will be a substitution now, and it is Raphael Leai who will come on for Sebastian Hernandez. So 65 minutes or so for the winger on his first start. Was active in the first half, a key role in the goal as well. The driven shot that spilled the way of Mascivecchio. Will take his leave, and it will be Raphael Leai. Kubo still has it, and there's some big challenges running in here, and Well, Yuakubo has shoved into Kanaizumi there. It was, well, certainly a reaction to the challenge between the pair. Although it does seem quite off the ball. We'll see how this is dealt with by the referee. Having a word with both captains. Free kick the way of Spirit. Milicevic to get this in. Milicevic, ball in, an opportunity to take the lead for Spirit. Floated in nicely. Geisen gets his head to it, and Kanaizumi will send that up the field. Bunal finds Kanaizumi. Good ball wide. Here's Dylan Ryan. Liai. Rafael Liai can race one-on-one with Alawalia. Opportunity to cross it in. It's not a bad ball. It's cleared away well, though. Liai in for a challenge with Connor Starbo. And the wind is really ripping across now. Here at Macedonia Park. Here's a Fuka. It's interesting that an altercation in the game because the tone of this second half hasn't been like it at all. Alawalia under pressure, shanks that away for a throw. Scott, BT. Play out nicely there, the Wolves, with Harrison Bunal in possession, but that's a rather unnecessary giveaway, was under no pressure. No one making the run in behind. Mashivecchio tracked it, nonetheless. Regular minutes to play. Still 1-1 after that early equaliser from Spirit. been a lack of chances from both teams in this second half. No feeling of a late season clash, this one, that, well, you wouldn't think was as much riding on it as there in fact is. Big games on Sunday for Spirit as we see a sub, Lisovic. Well, he's one of the players coming off, as is Smith. In terms of who's coming on, only Wigan is one, and we'll wait to confirm who that other change was. Here's Lei though. Rafael Lei down the left, who got in a decent cross last time, and that one's into an area, but not a particularly good one. Charlie Broomhead is the other change for Spirit, or rather it's Corey Kavanagh. So Corey Kavanagh and Ollie Wigan are on. And coming off, Frankie Lisovic and Brady Smith. So a change in midfield and a change at the back for Spirit as they look to try and change the scoreline. Takami is fouled. Wigan will chase that down with Mashivecchio, who made a real task of it. It will be a goal kick, though. Only Wigan 2 goals this season, and they came in back-to-back rounds, back in rounds 21 and 22. Corey Kavanagh, well, he returned to the bench for the first time since round 21 that he was in the squad against Sydney Olympic in round 26, the last time Spirit played. He also has a couple of goals this season, the midfielder. Scott's touch gets away from him. Afuka is down to it. Scott wins the tackle. Olsen was onside, and it's a good chance this for Wollongong. Wide for Mashivecchio. Ball in, that'll be a corner. Olsen making room for a ball in, and will choose to go back for Mashivecchio. Mashivecchio tries to cross, and well, it's a lovely reverse ball in the end for Geisen. And that was almost a good chance. Marquez has stayed down with a bit of a knock following Scott's attempt at the ball. Looks like potentially there may be another Wollongong change being readied. And I think it could be James Anagnostopoulos, another one getting ready potentially as well, Liam Ball. So 2 changes for Wollongong, and that's a great interception. Lei with a chance to volley, but lacks the real malice that is necessary to score on his weaker side, though. Here's a chance for Spirit with a Fuka. Touch goes away from him and Geisen is able to get back in front. Bunal, well, that's not a great clearance. Afuka has chipped that over. Well, it's a deflection somewhere in there. Ball in right onto Solsky, who does get hands on it and eventually catches it. I think nonetheless it would have been a foul. Solsky's distribution towards Liai. And a foot race with Alawalia. Scott. Scott goes past Cornwall and then goes past Conestabo. Tries the trick again with Takami. And here comes the midfielder the other way, Takami. Driven ball, Geisen will get there first. Beatty. Beatty back to Geisen, who finds himself on the opposite fullback. Here's Liai. Ryan. Opportunity to turn and play that ball forwards. Geisen's touch is good. Olsen gets there first ahead of Nicholson. Here's Yu Akubo. Ball over the top the way of Wigan, who brings it down. He'll be forced to go wide for Afuka. Takumi Afuka floats a ball in. Solsky gets there ahead of Akubo. Still waiting to make that change at Wollongong, that will probably be in midfield. Here's a chance to break through midfield for Takami. That ball's for Akubo, but he's been sent wide. Well, given away. Beatty. There's space if he can find Liai. Not the best of balls, but he can pick it up still. The substitute. Back with Beatty. Switched out for Vecchio. Geisen. Olsen gets the touch first into the box. Still in Olsen, and he can clip it in towards Scott. Here's Liai. Liai at the second effort off the crossbar. Conestabo the other way. Afuka stolen in behind Flynn Madden. Takumi Afuka. Crucial stop from Daniel Solsky. A slip though as well from Afuka. Well, the game has burst into life in these last couple of minutes. It's given away. Conestabo, the ball for Akubo. What a save again from Daniel Solsky. Looked as if he was clearly offside. Nonetheless, an excellent stop from Solsky. A couple of those he's produced now this evening. will be that change now. James Anagnostopoulos on, and Flynn Madden comes off. Now, in terms of that Wolves bench, they are missing Winsub Sim this evening in midfield. James Anagnostopoulos hasn't received a great deal of minutes in recent weeks, but has been keeping fit with the under-20s team here at the Wolves, who themselves are on a fine run of form at the moment. Leai, that ball's for Scott, who is unable to get onto it. Well, Raphael Leai has been involved in a couple of opportunities since coming on. Alawalia. Opportunity for Spirit to drive forwards now through Kavanagh. Kavanagh in for Connor Starbo. Great touch, and his efforts straight at Daniel Solsky, who won't muck around with the potential of picking that up. Dylan Ryan carries on. It'll be a free kick. Well, that was awarded by the assistant referee. Well, it's burst into life, hasn't it? With 10 to go. Into very soon the final 5 regular minutes of this one. Kavanagh's ball in. Collisions at the back post, but Anagnostopoulos will come away with it. It's Masciavecchio. Geisen in an advanced position here. Geisen chooses to go back to Masciavecchio. That's a throw in for the Wolves. Here's Olsen. Olsen, lovely work to get down the right. Here's Olsen into the box. Well, not quite. Masciavecchio now. That ball's a little bit short. Beatty will get a touch there ahead of Akubo. Here's Ryan. Kanaizumi for Anagnostopoulos as Ryan picks it up once more. Looks for that ball into Olsen. Connor Starbo is taken out and will be given that free kick. Cornwall drives that free kick up the field. Geisen. Olsen. Nice feed again from Olsen. He's had a couple of good runs recently. Offside against Masciavecchio. Geisen finds Beatty. Flips the referee on its way through, but it'll find Dylan Ryan nonetheless. Ryan for Scott. Fuka. Here's Kavanagh. Wide for Wigan. That'll be a throw-in. Still 1-1 here at Macedonia Park. It was Alex Mascivecchio's goal 24 minutes into the first half, and just 5 minutes into the second half, Spirit found the equaliser through former Wollongong Wolves winger Takumi Afuka. Kanaizumi wide for Ryan. That's the second time the assistant referee has made a decision against Dylan Ryan in the last few minutes. And the Wollongong players are making that point. Good chance this for Spirit from the set piece. Had a few of these tonight. A couple have come close. Kavanagh's delivery. Cleared away by Scott. Kubo will get to the ball first. The throw in. Nice touch, Kavanagh. Still going, Kavanagh. Geisen slides in. Solski will clear that away. Olsen goes chasing after this one, but that'll go all the way through to Marquez in his box. Geisen's header. Bunel. Geisen down the line. Pasevsky keeps it in. Geisen will get it back. Under pressure from Afuka. That'll be a throw in the way of Spirit. 30 seconds of regular game time to play, plus whatever additional time, which we're about to find out. Otherwise, these teams, if they can't find a winner, they'll have to settle for a point, which doesn't really do either team the greatest of options. I mean, for Spirit, we just find out 3 additional minutes, they'll of course remain at the top, and I guess a draw away from home against a Wolves team that are in some good form isn't the worst that could have happened, but for Wollongong, they need to get up the table, and 3 points here was very much important. It'll be a good free kick and a yellow card the way of Grant Cornwall, I think that is. Wouldn't this be a way to finish off the game for Wollongong? Nicholas Olsen scored an excellent free kick a few weeks ago against St George from a similar distance, but of course at the other end. And, well, that seems a ridiculous option here. Pasevsky has been sent off. I'm not really sure why that's happened. And Olsen into the wall. They'll have to play here, and it's a counter-attacking opportunity for Spirit. Now here's a chance, Lei into the box. That's a goal kick. Lei. Well, yes, a second yellow card for Pasevsky. I'm not too sure. It was certainly deliberate to pick up a yellow card. I'm not too sure why, though. And to change for Spirit. Afuka's off. Broomhead is on. Well, that's to the end of what stoppage time was put up on the board. We'll see what remains. Geisen. Well, that's full time here at Macedonia Park. 1-1 between the Wollongong Wolves and NWS Spirit. It was Alex Mascivecchio that opened the scoring for Wollongong in the first half. Takumi Afuka, though, against his former side, not long after the break, saw the equaliser. I've been Tim Gibson. Thank you for tuning in.